Today's Valentine's Day, so I thought we could take a break from the competitive guides and character breakdowns to talk about something we all love, Rivals 2. Today, I'll be going over my favorite things about the game, ranging from gameplay to community, and tons of other details to spread some positivity around the game, since I think playing a competitive game can be a bit draining sometimes. Speaking of community, I do have a quick and easy to enter giveaway at the end of this video for some cool stickers that I've made. So be sure to watch until the end, or maybe even just skip there for more details on that. First up on the list of things I love about Rivals 2 is the dev communication and patch notes. Each set of notes comes with dev write-ups about their goals for the character and why they got the changes they did, as well as a full breakdown of values and changes. Unlike games like Smash Ultimate, which would just randomly include notes without a real explanation, making them confusing at best. This is a little off topic, but does anyone else remember reading the ult patch notes translated from Japanese before they dropped in English? I never knew what increased the love of a movement, but I'm sure it's a good thing, right? And back to the topic of Rivals patches though, I also love the release cadence. If something feels too strong or too weak, there's normally a patch right around the corner adjusting it, as well as big patches when there's not a big event coming up. This is really neat to me since I'm an organizer, and it means the devs are taking comp into consideration and not shaking up the game too much before it gets a lot of time on a main stage of a huge event like Genesis. Speaking of Genesis, I love seeing the dev and community support opportunities for the game. This past week, the devs have dropped the Genesis X or Kane skin, purchasable through the Genesis shop, raising right below $9,000 at the time of me recording this, for the Rivals 2 pop bonus, raising it to be above the Smash Ultimate pop bonus, which is crazy for an indie game. This skin's also really neat too, with special effects and even a custom windscreen theme. The best part though, it's only $10, with half of the sales going to the event's pop bonus, making it both affordable and actually productive for community events. In other esports that I've participated in or spectated, devs would often sell bundles in the game with tons of items to raise money for an event, just to cheapen out and donate the least amount possible, or price bundles really high to guarantee the company made a profit off of the competitors. But in this case, the skin's cheaper than other Epic skins, and the players get a notable revenue split. It's a win-win for everyone, the buyer included. Speaking of wins and skins, I love the diversity of skins in the game, as well as how much of them you can get for free. Free skins like Retro Raster, Leon Claren, and Sunny Fleet are some of my personal favorites, but it's rare to see a skin in the game that's free and I genuinely dislike it. On top of that, by playing events and leveling up characters to level 30, you can unlock $250 Dan all for yourself. This means getting 4 characters to level 30 and completing 2 of the free seasonal passes allows you to buy a premium skin with premium currency without ever having to spend a dime. Speaking of the free passes, you get so much new content every month for free. Each pass comes with a free skin, free icon, free death effect, emote, and respawn platform, as well as tons of Trevor tokens and, as previously mentioned, Dan dollars. None of the content in these passes blows my mind, to be honest, but I've spent $5 to $10 on all of these, so getting a new track to work towards every month with lots of little goodies is really cool and a great way to make me play more. Recently, they've also been including paid cosmetics in the event shop for 100,000 coins, letting you use the free currency to buy premium skins. I think it's a really great way to make the event stand out as having a really big prize to grind for. It kinda gives me the same feeling that I would get whenever I was going to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid, and gimmick the SpongeBob machine to get extra tickets for big prizes. Except I'm very much grown now, and I gimmick free-for-all casual queue to get extra points instead. I completely forgot to write this into the script, but all the characters being free is really sick too. A lot of the times when I get into a fighting game or host an event for one, there's a ton of DLC I gotta buy, sometimes doubling or tripling the price of a game, but the DLC in Rivals is completely free. I don't ever have to worry about that, which not only helps me as a player, but also as a TO and someone who wants to see the game's community grow. It's really easy to convince someone to get the game, because it's just a one-time purchase, unlike any other modern competitive fighting game. While we're on the topic of monthly content, the game also gets paid content drops monthly, fitting a cosmetic theme. My favorite theme so far has been the low poly event, but each event has a lot of charm, and there hasn't been one that I've disliked yet. The skins are all really quality, so it's really great to see such a big variety in the game, even though it's only been out for a few months. Before we hop over to the next topic, if you could, hit that like button, or maybe consider subscribing if you love the content. It tells YouTube you want to see more of it, and goes a long way for boosting the video in the algo. I also have a creator code in-game, which I have on screen right now. A lot of the money I get from these goes back to my Wi-Fi and local events that I host, so it really helps a ton. Moving on from cosmetics, let's talk about the stages in the game. I really like that all of them are designed with competitive play in mind, but they all feel really unique and fun, so that I never get bored of them, even when I'm playing just for fun with friends. The bright colors, LastStock animations, and catchy tracks make all the stages feel really lively, like they're actually showing off the world of Ether. Unlike stages in other platfighters, which sometimes hit the mark, but sometimes feel gloomy or kinda boring. Just like stages, each character feels fully fleshed out personality-wise and visually, which is really cool and sadly unique to see in the world of modern platfighters. This isn't a video about other platfighters, and I want to talk about this in a standalone video soon, but recently a lot of games like Nick All-Stars or Multiverses just don't take the care or time needed to encapsulate the personality behind a character, whether this be in animations or just how they sound or look in-game. Each character in Rivals 2, however, is really colorful and lively, with great sounding voice lines and effects, which really goes a long way, especially considering that the team is making their own original designs and not sourcing their work off a long-lasting legacy. While we're on the topic of how characters look, I do want to shout out the art style. It's a nice change from other platfighters and doesn't look too cartoony, but also doesn't aim to look super realistic or anime-esque either. I have a full deep dive celebrating the game's art style, coming out hopefully next week however, so I'll save the rest of my talking points on this subject for that video. Moving on from art and design, let's take a quick look at the UI. A lot of competitive games have a pretty sleek UI these days, but I really like how Rivals 2 combines the sleekness of a game, like Valorant's menu, with the fun and colorful aesthetic of Rivals. Seeing upcoming events and links to patch notes on the main menu is really neat too. But what I like most is getting to see my most recently played character on sub-menus. It adds a lot of personality to the game and keeps the menus fresh without overcomplicating them or throwing random clunky UI elements at me. I also really like the shop's UI. It's really easy to navigate, and while it can feel clunky on keyboard in my experience, it's really smooth and fresh on a controller. I love seeing where I'm at in an event track or checking out the coin shop, full of free, earnable goodies. It's a lot of fun, and I normally click through here 2 or 3 times per play session, just to see if there's anything new that I can get. Speaking of UI, I also really like the stage layout. Having counterpicks on the bottom with stars on top make it feel familiar and easy to navigate. It's hard to overstate how difficult it can be as a local TO to introduce someone to how bands and counterpicking works in a game like Ultimate. But in Rivals 2, it breaks it all down for you. It even lets you play rock, paper, scissors to see who bans first. I'm such a big fan of this system layout, not just for the great visuals, but because of how easy it makes events as an organizer. Speaking of systems that make running events much easier, as a solo TO, it's really hard for me to run both the stream, call, and report sets all at the same time, leaving my local Ultimate streams without an overlay or updates on set counts. However, with Rivals 2's UI in the top, it does this for me, which I love so much. It even makes a cool splash screen before each fight, like Ultimate, so spectators know who's fighting and who they're using, even if they're not super familiar with the game. For our last topic, I did want to touch on the kits and the movesets of fighters in Rivals 2. I love them all so much, and I'm sure this will be a contested topic, since there's always something that someone doesn't like in every comp game, but the kits in Rivals 2 are all pretty diverse and feel really unique and fun to play. I love how fast and interactive they all are, as well as how easy counterplay can be when used against the strongest and most polarizing options, allowing players to get value out of their options when used right, but lose a lot of ground if they're playing sloppy. This is really fresh feeling, especially coming from games like Smash 4 and Ultimate, since a lot of tools in those games either slow down the game, or feel like the risk-reward is really skewed and kind of unfun to fight. But in Rivals, it feels like everyone's more fun to play as than they are unfun to play against, if that makes sense. It's a really hard balance to achieve, and I'm really impressed with the dev team for doing it so well. All of this isn't to say that Rivals 2 is perfect. There's so much room to grow, and I genuinely love playing this game and watching the devs flesh out the features over time. Even in just the 4 months since launch, we've gotten a free character, some new sets of UI, and tons of new skins, both free and paid. I'll be making a video hopefully within the next few weeks, talking about features I'd like to see come to the game in the same style as this one. So if you want your feedback included in that, feel free to leave a comment and I'll check it out. Speaking about comments, in the video posted earlier this week, I showed off some new stickers that I've sold at past events to fundraise, and I'll still be giving away a few of them. As a big thank you for using creator code LastStock in-game. Remember that the code expires every 2 weeks, so you'll probably need to re-enter it right around now to get those extra Ether bucks. All you have to do to enter the giveaway, however, is leave a comment on this video or any other video that comes out before the end of the month, or enter one of the Wi-Fi brackets that I host on my server, linked down in the bio below. Each comment and bracket entry is its own entry into the giveaway, and I'll pick up to 3 winners to each get one of every sticker shown in this little montage that I have on screen. It's just a great way to give back to y'all and say thanks so much for all your support over the past few months. I hope everyone has or had a great Valentine's Day, and until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye for now.